Well, good afternoon, everyone. We're really excited today to be in the presence of our friends from Comcast and C-SPAN who are in town producing what we anticipate will be a very exciting video to be shown to C-SPAN viewers all over, probably all over the world. But we warmly welcome Deb and the rest of the crew who are here today. And they've been here for a while, talking to a lot of different folks in the community about Peoria. And, as many of us that live here know, we have a tremendous amount of history, not the least of which is we're the oldest community west of the Alleghenies, and a lot of other interesting tidbits, too. So I had a really nice discussion before the press conference here with Deb, and it seems like they're getting a lot of really nice interviews and a lot of nice information. And we're proud of Peoria. We do have a long history. We really feel fortunate that we're located right here in the heartland of the United States, and I feel like we have a pretty good thumb on the pulse of the country and what's going on. So we'd like to thank Comcast, and Art Cymberski really is our link to Comcast and the things that they're doing in our community. So we appreciate them bringing this opportunity to us. And I'm going to, along with Councilwoman Jensen, ask Art to say a few words, and then he'll make introductions from there. So thanks for being here today, Art. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks again, Mayor Artis and Councilwoman Jensen. We appreciate it. I'm really thrilled to be here today. Growing up in Peoria, I thought I knew a lot about the history of Peoria, but in talking with the city and C-SPAN group, it's really just been eye-openings on all the different intricacies of the rich history of Peoria. So really excited to be here. Comcast is excited to help bring C-SPAN to the city of Peoria. Once again, Peoria is an important part of the Comcast family, so we are happy to help with that. Ever since Comcast acquired the cable system in Peoria, we've really striven to build a strong relationship with all of our customers and with the city, so we're very thankful of that. Once again, just really want to thank Mayor Artis and City Council and Councilwoman Jensen for their support over the years as we brought new and advanced services to the area. I've been privileged enough to work with C-SPAN on the C-SPAN bus tour in the past, but when they started to tell me a little bit about the city's tour, I was really excited because it's so much more, and really it made a lot of sense for them to come to Peoria, a city that is so rich in its history. So once again, I would just like to thank the city for welcoming in C-SPAN and C-SPAN for choosing Peoria. And it's my privilege to introduce Debbie Lamb, the coordinating producer for C-SPAN and the C-SPAN tour group. Yeah,
thank you all very much. I want to thank right off the bat Mayor Artis for having us here in your wonderful city. Councilwoman Jensen, I knew I was going to do that because I was thinking of, whatever his name is, Jetson, as in the space guy. And also wanted to thank Comcast specifically for helping build this partnership. We've enjoyed a long business relationship with Comcast, especially with the folks here in Illinois. Peoria is the first city we're doing in the state of Illinois. And it has a lot to do with them. They carry all three networks. There's C-SPAN, C-SPAN 2, and C-SPAN 3. The cable industry created C-SPAN back in 1979 with the caveat that they would pay us a license fee, and right now it's at 6 cents for all three networks. But the deal was that we weren't going to run any commercials. We weren't going to have any advertising. We weren't going to editorialize the nature of our programming or break in. And we were not going to receive any taxpayer dollars or be managed by the government. Instead, we decided that we would have total editorial control, showing a variety of points of view on the C-SPAN networks without all that editorializing and all of that. So on C-SPAN started with the House, C-SPAN 2 the Senate. Why are we here? In 2011, we had this idea that we would get out of Washington, D.C. Often people think of C-SPAN as the government channel, but on the weekends, because we know the House and Senate will not be in session, we program the network. C-SPAN 2 on the weekend is 48 hours of book TV, which is nonfiction book-related programming, and then 48 hours on C-SPAN 3 of American History TV. So the idea was to get out of Washington, D.C. and focus on selected cities to bring our national audience an inside look into the city that they might not know anything about. And let me tell you, we have found some wonderful programming, but specifically here in Peoria, lots here. Lots here and not enough bodies to do it. So I will let you know here in a second, but I want to introduce, we work as a team. I realize I'm up here speaking, but the folks that do a lot of the work that you'll see on your shoots is, to my right is Johnny St. Jean. He's our book TV producer, so he's interviewing some of the local authors and doing a special collection. And Adrian Hoare here, who's our American History Cities Tour producer, and will be interviewing some of you already here, and putting these pieces together for air. All of the programs that we collect will air on October 15th and 16th on C-SPAN 2 Book TV and C-SPAN 3's American History TV. So I was asked today on one of the channels, what's your favorite city? And of course I can never answer that question. I just say my hometown. But one of the things that makes a city, and I think Adrian and Johnny would agree with me, are the people. And the welcome that we have received in this town is amazing. So I just want to thank each and every one of you, those of you that have helped us put the programs together. Obviously, we can't get to everything, but we really appreciate everything that you've done for us during our visit. We love it. I think we're gaining weight, but other than that, everything is good. Sorry, not you, just me. Okay, so without further ado, let me introduce you to some of the programs that we're going to be doing. Adrian, we're going to look at, which I thought was interesting here, the mass production of penicillin with Dr. Stephen Peterson and his colleague Patrick Dowd. And so we'll go to the Ag Lab and look at some of the artifacts and the history behind why here. C-SPAN is a very simple network, if you will, in the sense that we want the individuals to narrate the story. So while we'll ask the questions, you're not going to see us in the piece, you're not going to hear us in the piece. So when we interview author Greg Wall tomorrow, his piece will be, he will be narrating his story. So that is very important to understand. And the same with Mayor Artis, as I interviewed him today. You'll see him on the network as well. And then Adrian went to the Riverfront Museum. Are any of the folks here today from there? Thank you all very, very much. We're doing a story on the whiskey distillery, all right, and Prohibition and some of the gangster history, where we interviewed H. Wayne. It just goes by H, right? Okay. There's some character. I mean, we've got a Brian Fox Ellis. So we did also there a piece on the Illinois River, where you're going to see Ann Schmidt and Doug Blodgett. Did I say that right? Blodgett will be talking to us about the history of the river, as well as some of the ecosystems that go along with it and have made an impact. Jealous that both Johnny and Adrian this afternoon will be going on the Spirit of Peoria. City's so kind to put them on a little boat and drive them out to the Spirit of Peoria as it's in progress. And they will jump aboard, hopefully they'll come back, where they will interview Brian Fox Ellis and capture some of the history about Peoria, and then dock back here in Peoria, where I'll make them do the rest of the week. And so that should be very interesting. We're also going to look at the Pettingill collection. I realize that there's the Pettingill home here, but speaking with Bob Killian at the Historical Society, we decided that since the home, that when he was here and operated as an abolitionist and looking at the Underground Railroad, that we would speak with Barb Mine about the collection she's putting together about Mr. Pettingill himself and the history behind the Underground Railroad. So we'll do that at Bradley University, and many thanks to them for helping us out as well. We'll go to Caterpillar. I don't know if Lisa Miller is here today, but we're going to look at C.L. Best, one of the first chairmen and longest running chairman at Caterpillar. There's an exhibit there, so we'll learn about him and a little bit about the background of Caterpillar. Obviously, can't come to Peoria without talking about Caterpillar, right? So then we also are going to go out to the Dirksen Center and learn a little bit more about Bob Michael. And it really is a C-SPAN focus. It's a C-SPAN thing that we do. But the reason why we chose Bob Michael is because he's from here. He was born and raised here. He went to school here. We'll also hopefully look into Ray LaHood as well, but that's coming, so I don't want to make sure that that's not solid. But for books, then, we're interviewing Ken Zersky. Is Ken here today? We talked to him about Peoria stories. I saw him this morning. He's probably sleeping because that's an early morning show, FYI. There he is. Okay. The Peoria stories, Tales from Illinois' Heartland. Okay. And then Greg Wall, who is here, It Didn't Play in Peoria is the name of his book. And Norm Kelly, who will talk to us about, is he here today? Okay, there you are, Norm. Thank you. We talked to him about Officer Down, and we thought that was a fabulous book and also pertinent to what's going on today. So Norm will share that history and others with us. Jackie Hogan, who I know is here, and her daughter, who just had a birthday yesterday. We spoke with her yesterday at Bradley University about Lincoln Inc. and selling the 16th president in contemporary America and learning a lot about the image of how Lincoln is portrayed. And then at Bradley University, we're going to take a look at the rare books and special collections of Lincoln as well, and some of the pieces and artifacts are in that collection. And finally, we're going to interview Taylor, and if Taylor, you're here, I can't pronounce your last name. I sincerely apologize. But the book is titled Brothers Notorious, the Sheltons of Southern Illinois. So I see all your heads bobbing. So there's a lot here to cover. We're only getting to a slice of it. Like I said, Peoria has a lot of great history and a big nonfiction literary life. So again, to thank the mayor, Councilwoman Jensen, the Historical Society, the Riverfront Museum folks, the Bradley University folks. And I would say your names, but I can't get through them all. You've been wonderful. The Art with Comcast and Debbie here, sitting here. We can't thank our Comcast partners enough. And the Peoria Public Library was instrumental in getting us in touch with a lot of the local authors. So if I forgot you, know that you're there with us, and we really, really appreciate everything that you've done for us. And finally, a special shout out to Stacy Peterson over here, who has been a wonderful asset in getting this all pulled together. So thank you all very much, and if you have any questions, I'd be willing to hopefully answer them without mispronouncing anything.
So just a quick recap. The main stories you're going to be covering are just...
Yeah, real quick is mass production of penicillin, the whiskey distillery and prohibition and gangsters, the Illinois River, looking at that, the spirit of Peoria, sort of the history of Peoria, the Pettingill collection at Bradley University, Caterpillar C.L. Best exhibit, and looking at Bob Michael's paper, some of his story. For books, do you need that too? Okay, I don't know if you just want the author or you want the title of their books. Okay, so Ken Zerski, the Peoria Stories, Greg Wall, It Didn't Play in Peoria, Norm Kelly, Officer Down, Jackie Hogan, Lincoln Inc., Bradley University Special Collections on Lincoln, and Taylor regarding Brothers Notorious.
How long will each piece be?
Well, it certainly depends on the experts here, but the pieces can go anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes in length. And those of you that know how to edit, that 10 minutes is a long time. But we have the luxury of time on C-SPAN without commercials, so.
And then will it all be one part of one, like half hour, hour, special hour and a half? Or will it
Exactly.
be broken up in little vignettes throughout the day?
Each piece will have its individual time, where it airs throughout, sprinkled throughout on the respective networks. So the authors and nonfiction on Book TV and history, they'll be sprinkled throughout the weekend. We do have a special block for Book TV where you'll see all the programs in sequence. And that starts October 15th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, so 11 a.m. Central Time. And then on Sunday, that history block will start at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on C-SPAN 3, and so that would be 1 p.m. Central Time here. After they all air, they'll be warehoused online indefinitely. There'll be a special Peoria, Illinois page where you'll be able to watch each of the individual segments, including the block. And so they live on the C-SPAN video library along with 200,000 some hours of C-SPAN programming indefinitely. So those that don't get to catch it, might not have 2 hours on a Saturday, but we'd love for you to watch it on the air, can also watch it online.
Have you done this with other cities as well?
Oh, yes, since 2011.
Comparable to Peoria, and what was the reaction? What's been the end result? Viewer mail, emails? I mean,
We get a lot of good reaction usually from the folks that we've interviewed, who, they want to watch and see how you put it together for any historical accuracy or author. So we get a lot of really positive feedback, generally from the city itself, our cable partners. And so it's been a successful project because you're bringing a lot of entities together, good programming, history, nonfiction. You're bringing, the cable operators have strong partnerships in the city, so we get to bond with the city and get the city on there. And how can you beat that, giving our audience a great look inside a city like Peoria? We were amazed at how much we found here and how much I can't do. So.
How do you get to Peoria as the first city in the state of Illinois that you're doing the tour with?
Yeah, well, some of it has to do with logistics. So but a lot of it had to do with looking at the city. It's in the heart of Illinois. It's in the heart of Midwest. And looking at the history, you've got Bradley University here, and also a very strong partnership with our Comcast folks. So, and as we continued on here in the city, I mean, what a fantastic city. I mean, great people here, and I'm not just saying that. I don't say that in every city. So we can't do it without the work of everyone. Otherwise, it doesn't matter if we're here or not. So, yeah.
How often is this repeated over the weekend, Debbie? Is it, you said at 11 o'clock our time, I think the 1 o'clock for the book.
Yes.
The American history.
Right.
Okay, it's a 2-hour segment, and then does it repeat again the weekend? Or?
Not in a block, but the individual segments will re-air throughout the weekend on their respective networks. Yeah, perfect.
how long are you guys in town for, and how long will this all take?
Yeah, well, we're here till Friday morning. We leave Friday morning, and putting it together traditionally, if our schedule was normal, it takes about 2.5 weeks for the two of them to do the leg work, lion's share of the work, if you will. Yeah, so it's a quick turnaround, and putting everything together, and then they're responsible for other things as well, putting on their own graphics, putting on, adding video to it and images that really complement the story of the person narrating it. So that's the goal, not to take anything out of context, but to put the content together to narrate the story efficiently or effectively.
So about 2.5 weeks together, about 14 different topics and videos that go with it.
Yeah, oh, you're talking about editing? No. Oh, about preparation?
I would not even suggest that would take 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, it does. I mean, they have to. They don't have, I'm sorry, guys, they don't have much choice, because we go back out. They're like, hey, you.
Ways to collect the 14 different, 12 to 14 different.
Actually, we will do, what, guys, 14 pieces here. We got in Saturday night, and we will leave with 14 pieces on Friday morning. So, yes, they'll. What's that? Yes, and that's not, if you're familiar with that, I'm sure all of you that are in the media, that's like, so it's a quick turnaround. And then we go back out the next week. And so actually, we have a team on the West Coast as well. So on the first and third weekend of each month, we are featuring a different city. So this last weekend was Cleveland. The next weekend up is Pueblo. We also did Denver, which is a larger city, so you get kind of lost there. This group has done Nashville. We've done, in the beginning, we did Beaumont, Texas. So it just shows you kind of the variety of where we go. You know, we went to Pueblo, yes.
Do you alternate between east and west cities every other week?
Me? No. Oh, no. Actually, we have, this is the cool crew. No, this is the East Coast group, and then we have 3 on the West Coast. So we'll travel the third week of the month, and then it airs the next third, and then the other team travels for a week in the top of the month, and then their shows show up on the first weekend of the month.
Your crew and their crew, that's 3 people each?
Yeah. So, and actually we have an executive producer, I can't leave him out, Mark Farkas, who oversees the project itself. And so, yeah, it's a small group doing a lot of things, but as Art mentioned, and I have a strong tie to the bus because I would help manage the project at one time. This project has been amazing because we're actually able to show our viewers the value of a city and some of its history and nonfiction life. So.
Most interesting thing you've seen here so far, and it doesn't necessarily have to be anything that you're doing for the show.
Right.
Just what do you consider the most, it could be a restaurant, it could be...
Well, listen, here, let's put it this way. Adrian and I don't know if we told you, Johnny, we ate at Sugar's again last night. So, and we want to try One World, and we try to go just to local places. So, and I can't remember the other place we've been. I mean, we've been pretty busy, and so we've been missing lunches here and there. Well, we went to 401 Cafe real quick for a salad. So the food is great. The one thing I like best, I have to tell you that I learned something in every one of these stories. I love it. I was a terrible student. So for me, visually seeing history, I learned so much. So I only hope that there's the same kind of student out there that can, in complement to a book, can learn so much from a video, where you give an inside look into that person. So we hope we do that. It's just a different way to receive information and not like a quick tweet or something, so.
Understanding that you have a limited amount of time to collect a lot of information and you have to really hit the hallmarks that you identified.
Yeah.
How did you choose the things you chose, and yet Lydia Moss Radley, we talked about this yesterday, 200th anniversary of her birthday. Richard Pryor is from here. Betty Friedan is from here. How did you? It would be tough to choose, right?
Yes.
We make choices every day about what we could cover with the staff we have. Talk about how you make those choices.
Sure. We come, with all the contacts we have, and then we do our own extensive research, and then we meet as a team, as an editorial team, and go through, are we covering this era of history? Are we covering this, section? And do we have a nice spread of everything? It's the same way C-SPAN operates. Are we showing a variety of points of view? Same with books. And it's a very simple answer about the history of Bradley University was a matter of bodies. It definitely was on our list. But we're doing a lot of great things there at Bradley. So, we weren't able to get to that. Now, Betty, we had, Rob had given me the name of Barb Drake. And then we also got some additional names. Unfortunately, we're unable to get a hold of folks. You know, it's tough, and I don't think anyone wanted to speak about her without having some really good background knowledge. So that would have been a nice addition to Book TV as well. Richard Pryor, yes, we took a great shot of a statue. And we'll use it in our B-roll of promoting the network. Richard Pryor's story would have to have some involvement with civil rights that he may be involved in, or, if you look at blues, rhythm and blues and country music, some of those individuals really brought their works to political history of some kind. So we definitely at least got the fact that he's from here. I also learned that Dan Fogelberg was here today. Or not today, but is from here. Yeah. So anyway. Yeah, great questions. Yes?
If I can ask you a question real fast. What kind of opportunity does having this show highlight Peoria bring to the city?
Well, it's a great opportunity to showcase the best city in the whole world. As a longtime history buff, somebody who lives in a historic home that was built in the 1880s by a whiskey baron, I love having C-SPAN here. It helps bring the focus of our history. I mean, Peoria has been a top city in the state of Illinois and in the country since its inception. So it's a great opportunity for Peoria to show itself to the whole world and to show that the phrase, "Does it play in Peoria?" started here and why it started here, and that good things are still happening in Peoria. And we continue to grow and prosper and continue to be a leading city in this state and in the country. So I'm glad to have them here. Thank you to both C-SPAN and to the cable company and Art. We really appreciate it.
Anything else?
Is there anything we should have asked you?
No, you did it. I thank you all very much. We appreciate it. Thank you for coming out.